Good evening, everybody. I thought I would show you the new blocks I was doing today. This one's going to be probably a small lap type blanket or quilt, however you want to look at it. But this is the block, and there's actually 4 of these that create a unique design. And I'm going to show you how to make this one block. I have 4 of them created already, but I'll show you what they create once I show you how to do the blocks. And to make this block, and these are just the colors I chose. Let me see if I can show you. The one is it's got pink little spots. It's a pinkish. It's got little white little polka dots in it. I thought it would look cool. Not necessarily that pink is my favorite, but it's really hard. It looks like a almost white or light, but it is pink. So this is how you make this block. These are the items you're going to need. You need only 2 colors, but you're going to need 2 dark and 2 light. We're going to be making a 4 patch, and these are 2 inch by 2 inch, and these go together like this. Okay, go together like that. Let me get these sewed real quick. So this was a fun block to make. And then when I discovered the secondary pattern that happens when you put 4 of them together, I was like, owie. I was like, oh wow, that's definitely unique. Again, these 4 patches are done with 2 by 2 squares. Oh, I don't know why I cut that off. Normally I don't do that. Normally I just chain stitch. This is a very forgiving pattern in terms of if you don't get it exact, you can square up the block, and it makes it. This one is one of the ones you can square up each time you do something with it, or wait till afterwards. You just got to remember, if you're like this pink, it's a little it's real thin, or thin type of fabric. So I did put some stiffening on it. I just used I don't know, it's a starch. Okay, I'm gonna make a 4 patch. This is a 4 patch. Try to get the 2 points together, because this is what we're making here, the center of this. So if you get these 2 as close to as sorry, I had to stop the camera, man. I was going to sneeze. But if you get when you sew these 2 together, if you try to get those centers, I mean, they don't have to be exact, but it just does this swirl thing a little easier to see. But again, if it doesn't match, and you can either open your seams or press one to one side and one to the other. Doesn't really make any difference on this one. One of the blocks I opened all the seams. The next one I did half and half, and it didn't really seem to make a difference in this particular case. So let's get these 4 patches sewed together. This is quite unique how this goes together. It doesn't look like what it is. There is no half square triangles. There's triangles, but no half square triangles in this at all. Because I wanted to do one that didn't involve half square triangles or flying geese or any form. And we got our center a little. It's close enough. Okay. I am going to not just finger press this. I'm finger pressing it here. But I am also going to iron this flat with my iron. And you just got to remember, you're pressing, not ironing. That's the only thing you do have to remember. Because if you iron and kind of push and pull on you could distort this. You could distort the four patch, and you really don't want it distorted because of how that block is created. You don't want that four patch distorted. I mean, if it distorts, it's not going to hurt anything. It's just going to make it a little distorted. And you go flat. Okay, there's our four patch. Now, what you need to remember and to keep this thought in your head is to make it look like this block. When you're doing this, you always start out with the darkest color on top and keep it to the left, which means this side here. Keep your dark color to the left, okay? Now there's our 2.5 inch squares. Okay, that's this piece right there. Okay, our next piece is going to be this one. We needed 2 of each one. This one we only need 1 of each one, and these are 3-inch squares. Okay, you need 1 of each color, and you could do these one at a time, but it's because of what you're doing, it's not necessary. You could just stack them on top, and what you're going to do is you're going to go from corner to corner. And I could have cut these ahead of time, but I wanted you to see. So you're going to cut these corner to corner. And these are 3-inch squares. You're going to cut them corner to corner. Okay. Now remember, these are 3-inch. Set those aside over here. Then you're going to need 2, again, 1 of each color, 2 that are 4-inch. Those were 3-inch. These 2 are 4-inch. You're going to do the same thing. You're going to cut them in a triangle, corner to corner, meaning point to point, corner to corner. Oh, I guess that. But point to point, cut them in a triangle. Cut the triangle. Yeah, my eyes are really messing with me today. Okay. So, our first one, lordy, oh, come on. So we'll cut it. It decided that I must need to replace my blades here. So we got 3-inch. Our 4-inch. Okay, that's 4. And I found that if you put these on top, okay, this is 3-inch and 4-inch of each color. Then you got 1 more. And this one is 5-inch squares. You're doing the exact same thing. So you got a 3, a 3, a 4, and 5. And again, you need 1 of each color. Whatever color you're using, it's 1 of each color. And I mean, I suppose you could do smaller. You just have to remember you're going 2-inch, 3-inch, 4-inch, 5-inch. So, I mean, if you wanted to make your metal block smaller or bigger, you just remember you're going up by 1 inch. And you're going to cut angles. There we go. Alright. So, we got our triangles all cut. I just put them together like this so that I know, and you can see them. Okay, and our 4 taps. Now, remember, we keep the dark side to this side. Okay, now your first one was your 3-inch. Okay, separate these off. Okay, what you're going to do is this is what your first one is going to look like. Okay, this is how you're going to sew this together. Just like this. And now you can see what's starting to happen. The twirl is starting to happen. Okay? But you're going to sew. But you just need to make sure that if you start with that dark in the left, you sew your first triangle, which will be dark first. Then you sew the opposite side second, and then you sew the 2 sides. So let me get all these 4 sides sewed, and we'll be right back. Okay? We got our 4 sides sewn on. Now you can see it. You can either leave these little dogs on. You can trim it up however you want. I'm gonna cut them off just so they don't bug me. But you don't have to cut them off. But all you're doing is just cutting these little dog ears off. Okay, nothing more. Just cut them off so they're not in the way. This block does not need to be squared up at this time. You can if you want to, but it's not necessary. Okay. That's what she looks at. And again, you just need to remember to keep this dark to the left-hand side. Then you're going to do the same thing with your this is your 4-inch. Okay? You're going to do the same thing. You're going to sew the same, you're going to do the same thing. Okay? You're going to sew like this. This is how you're sewing. And like this. Okay? And now you can see it's starting to form. So let me get these 4 sides on and we'll come right back. Okay, so now we have our 4-inch on here. So we have 2, your 3, and your 4. Now we have our 5-inch we have to put on. And again, you're doing the same. Let me move that one up. You're doing the same thing. My 5 inches under here. Moving over. And here's our 5-inch. Move over there. And that's what our block will look like. And see how it forms that. So let me get this sewed together, and then I'll put the 4 so you could see what they look like together as one block. Sorry about that. So here's our 5-inch. Now from here, you need to kind of square this block up so it matches. So let me, and you're not after, doing massive. I'm just going to switch it to my other mat because I'm not real happy with this mat. I mean, it's okay. I just have, I don't know, it's just not my favorite. I'm not sure why. It seems like if I use this mat, things don't come out straight. So I have a feeling this mat is not exactly square. So let me go square this up real quick. And again, what you're wanting to do is just make it, so that these are kind of square and they're just cut off. So let me square this up on my other cutting mat real quick. Okay, now that we have 4 of these created, we got 4 of them. Now, there's many different ways that we can put these as a block, and I will show you. You can do them this way. Move my sewing machine over a little bit, and you can just put them so they go together like this, and you have that design. But my favorite design is one that looks like this. Let's get this pushed up a little bit. Come on, get in there. It's nice to have it stick to it, but sometimes it's like, seriously? Let it go. And last but not least, there we go. Now, can you imagine an entire quilt built like that? It is so pretty. And then I was sitting here thinking, it's like, do you know how amazing that would look if you did, like when you put your last one on, you could actually have that a different color, and you could actually turn this into a quilt of valor by using white, red, and blue, or blue, red, and white, or a variation of colors. And then you could also have these, each one of these be a different color, or, and if you look, there is a solid square here, which is created from your 5-inch. So you could actually have this a completely different color, and then these all different colors. I mean, it's got so many variations. Or it would look really amazing in black and white. Now that would look good in black and white. It wouldn't have the same busyness as doing one like I did with these little polka dots. This is really bright and vibrant. We're doing it with different colors. It would also look good if you did flip these around. Here, I'll show you. Let's just flip them around. Let's put the pink in the center, and I'll show you. And it does the same thing. We get a different one going. Okay. Now we have a different one to where your pink is the center. See how that works? And it's just it's pretty cool design. You could actually do this as well. Yeah, I was sitting here after I made the 4 today. I was sitting here playing with them to see which one I liked. And you flip those two, you get a completely different design. So it's kind of like, it's one of those things of, it has options, and you are in charge of how you want it to look. And here's what happens if you only move 3. It creates that type of thing. This one looks cool to me also, but I still prefer this one with the design, this with the dark all to the center. I think that design is really cool. You could also do it, and how I'm gonna end up doing it is 4 blocks will be this way. The next block to it will be the light will make this design. So it will just be flipped over. In other words, I'll have one block that looks like this, and one block that looks this way, I don't have all my blocks cut. I just cut enough to do this tutorial. And then my next block to it will be this way. And so it will create, maybe. I don't exactly know until I get another 16, another 3 of these big blocks made to know exactly how I want to do it. But this is my main one. Is I do like it this. I think it's yeah, it's a little wild, but that's okay. It's unique and it is different, and I like it. And I think that's when we're creating quilts with a uniqueness, I think it's important that you like what you've put together. And it might be anything. Like me, this is not really scrappy. This isn't what I would call scrappy because the colors do go together. But you can make this as scrappy as possible. You could have your 2 inches being one color, your excuse me, I'm talking about the darks. You always want a main background color. This is what creates this. So on your dark color, you could have your 2-inch rectangles one color, your 3-inch another color, your 4-inch another color, and then your 5-inch a completely different color. And it would change the look of one block. Remember, what I showed you to do was to create one block. So if you're going to do it that way where each one is different, you need to make 4 of them so that you can see. Well, actually, technically, I guess you wouldn't, but I don't know that this design of what it would do the same thing. If each one of these was a different color, I don't know that it would, I don't know. I can't picture that in my brain. But to me, this is one big block, and I think you could have different colors put together as long as the entire block kind of went with itself, if that makes sense. So let me switch my camera real quick. Okay, there's my new block. As you can see, I put it up there, back there on the wall, and I just thought it really looked amazing. I'm gonna finish some more blocks with that same color. I have to make sure I have enough of that color to finish, a certain block. I at least have enough to make one more exactly like that, a set of 4, and I'm gonna try it in different colors to see. I don't want I don't know, that purple is kind of dark, but I'm gonna try it in different types. I don't want plain for the design. I just think it looks, I don't even know what you call that. I just think it's very unique, and that's what I like about some of the blocks. Oh, my one block for that Callie & Company mystery block is falling down. I can see it in the camera. So hopefully everybody, these type of tutorials are fun for you to watch, whether everybody does them, or it's just fun to see the different things people are doing. That's what sometimes I watch videos to see what others are doing, and I'm like, oh, that is amazing. Some of them I've attempted, and I'm like, I don't want to try to attempt this stuff. And others, I just go, wow, and it's just, and I'm sure the rest of you do the same thing. So hopefully everybody is enjoying their Memorial Weekend. I think that's what this is. And again, if you have any questions, please put it in the comments. Like I said in my previous video, if there's something that somebody wants me to show them, I'm more than happy to show somebody how to do something. I pretty much um, do various crafts. Some of them are a little different, such as that 3D crystal dragon. And I'm going to put that together. One way or the other, I'm determined. It's just going to take me a little bit. I'm going to, I decided the best thing to do was to, instead of keep having to lay those pieces out, I'm going to, I don't like coffee, sorry. Instead of laying those pieces out, I'm going to buy like a, similar to what I did my clock out of, a board that's up so that I could actually stand the dragon up as I put him together. And then I'll turn that wood box into a display, similar to when I used to put models together. You know, the ones that are, once again, made out of plastic, you know, cars. And I think my favorite was when I put together a it was a semi truck and trailer, and you actually had to put the engine together. It was a Peterbilt, and it was fun. It was fun. It was, and I painted the Pete in my favorite color, which was a lime green color. And I had a good friend, this was in high school. She was into semi trucks, and her favorite color was green. So it was interesting, because it was, I lived in foster home, and she was one of my foster siblings, I guess you want to call them. She was in a grade below me. When I was a senior, she was a junior, and we'd both been there the same amount of time. But it was interesting keeping her from seeing inside my room, because this was a full size, well, not full size, but it was enough. It had an engine, and you had to put all the little wiring. Of course, the engine didn't work. It didn't turn over or nothing. But you had to put all the wiring, and I think the worst one was trying to put the fan blades on the front of that, because you actually had to hook it into itself and make it stay there. And so I had a hard time doing that, because I still remember that. And then you had to put the glow plugs inside the gas tank, and you know, various other parts of this engine, and you know, put the heads on and whatever else is involved in diesel engines. I don't even remember now, but I put it all together. And the one part of that truck that did work is the air horns, and they were I took them in and had them chromed. I had those plastic pieces of chromed, and so this truck was chromed out. The gas tanks on each side, I had them chromed, and the wheels, the rims on the wheels, they were chromed, and then I had purple lights installed, so when the truck would go, because it was designed, if you roll it backwards and let it go, you roll it backwards on something flat and let it go, and it would go forward. So technically, I guess it was a working engine, kind of. And when you did that, the fan would move, and so that you could see the engine. It came with a regular hood, but I had ordered one that was clear. I took that hood and had one made that was clear for the engine, so you could see the engine moving. And I put little things inside of it, little tiny things that were not part of the original model. I went and got miniature versions of toggle switches. Whereas if anybody's ever been inside of a semi truck, I don't know about the modern ones where they're electric and stuff. We're talking about the older ones that had 10 gears or 20 gears or whatever, where you flip the red button and it goes up in gears. Those are the trucks I'm talking about, the old original Pete's. But this was an amazing truck. I wouldn't even want to know what the cost of getting a model for that type of thing would be now, because when I was at the store and found that crystal dragon, I was looking at models and I'm like going, these are not models, these are, and nothing against those that do them, I'm like, these aren't, there's nothing there to them. I mean, a couple of them I looked at, there was like 25 pieces. It's like, this is like a snap together thing. But you know, it's fun to do it that way, but I like the original ones. And maybe they changed them over the years due to the original ones required that really stinky glue. and it did stink. But then you can't get the glue now. You have to get somebody to get it for you. I'm smelling that stuff. I think it stinks. Because I remember having to wear a mask because it stunk so bad. So, but that's what I've done for today. So hopefully everybody enjoyed the day, celebrating however you celebrate Memorial Day. And hopefully those that are getting really bad weather, I hope everybody's safe. I know there's a few areas that are getting hit with, you know, the high winds, and hopefully everybody is safe and keeping yourselves safe. So for now, hit the like and subscribe, and again, if you have any comments, please, to where you want me to show you how to do something, I'm more than happy to do that for you. So for now, I'll talk to everybody later. Bye-bye.